Hey, what's up? Brian here with the Holy Roller. And you know, I've been thinking, there's a lot of people that have been losing some money at the craps table, playing in the field. We need to stop this, and I'm gonna tell you how. Let's go.
Welcome to the Holy Roller, where it's all about playing craps, earning free cruises, and a whole lot more. Thanks for watching, and now let's get rolling.
Let's talk about it for a second, because we're gonna talk about the field. Obviously, it looks like there's a lot of numbers in the field, and I see people come up to the craps table all the time, and they put $10 in the field, and then they lose, and then they put $20 in the field, and then they lose, and then they put $40 in the field. You know, and they just keep putting more money. Then they put $80 in the field, and you know, if they lose again, they put $80 in the field, and they're just, and then when they finally win, they win a difference of $10. They're chasing that $10 win when they started with 10, and then they finally get, you know, if they didn't get it 80, they would put $160 in the field, hoping to win that first $10 back. Now, this is what's called Martingale. It's called a Martingale betting system or strategy. I don't know. But what happens is, the way it works is you put money in the field, or you put money on a bet, because people do this at roulette as well. But if you put money there and you lose, so say you lose your $10, then you put $20. If you win, then you would win 20, right? You would win your 20, which is the 10 you lost plus 10. Then you go back down to 10. And then if you win again, you win 10. And then if you lose, you bump it up. You always double it. Now, the thing about this is, at least on the tables I play with on Royal Caribbean, playing craps on a cruise to earn a free cruise, and I see people doing this all the time, just playing in the field randomly and then doubling up their bet every time they lose. The thing is, the table max, there's a minimum, but there's also a maximum on the table. The table on a max is $500 on a cruise with Royal Caribbean. $500, you can't go above $500. Well, I was playing with someone recently, and they were doing this, and it was working for a while, but then they got to the 500 place, but their last bet was like $300, so they had to double it to 600, but they couldn't because it was 500, and they asked me, they said, "Hey, will you put 100 in for me?" And I said, "No, man." And right then, an 8 rolled, and they lost the 500. So I saved them $100 by not doing that. But then they would have to win how many times in a row just to get back? Now think about it. Just to get back that $10. So because you get sucked in and you get in this like snowball of chaos, you get $500 just to win your $10 back. That is not a good bet. And so let's talk about a way to actually bet the field, and actually, if you're going to do it, there's a different sequence rather than the what's called the Martingale, which is what I just showed you. There's a different sequence called the Fibonacci, and I would rather do the Fibonacci than the Martingale any day, any bet, any time. And so we'll talk a little bit about the Fibonacci, okay? And then I'll talk to you about how to bet in the field, if you're going to ever bet in the field, okay? So the way the Fibonacci works is, and I'll put it right out here, $10, and if you lose, so let's say we're doing $10 units. So if you lose at $10, the second one would be $10. And the way the Fibonacci works is, if you win this, then you just stay at that level. So this is like 1, 1, or 1 unit and 1 unit, which is 10 and 10. Well, then what you do on your third one is Fibonacci, you always add the last 2 for your next bet. So if we were to lose 2 times in a row, we would add 10 and 10, that would be 20. Okay, now if we win at this level, then we would go back down. Okay, if we don't, we add the 2 last bets. So 20 plus 10 is 30, so that would be our bet. Then 30 plus 20 is 50 on the next level. Then you have 50 plus 30, which is 80 for the next level, right? And then if you got to the other level, you know, like you lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times in a row, which can happen, then you add the 50 plus the 80. So let me grab that. So 50 plus 80 is $155. So you have 155. Now, if you lose that one, okay, then you're gonna go and you have to add this plus 80 more. So let me put that out again. So that's 80 plus, and then add these other ones, and then you have what do we have? I'm just like putting all this together here. It's $210. So now you're at $210 if you lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times in a row, which can happen. So now it looks like you have another 100, and so you have $365. So $365 would be the next bet in the sequence. And keep this in mind. If you win at this sequence, you go back down 2. So 2 levels. So if we were winning here, we would have went down here. If you win here, you go down there. If you win here, you would go down to $20. If you won at 20, then you go back down to the original. So on your way up, you add the 2 last bets, and then on your way down, so if we win right here, our next bet would be this level. So we'd go back down to $155 from this one. Then if we won this one, we'd go back down to $50. And then if we won this one, we'd go back down to $20. And if we won this one, we're back down to the minimum. So you'd have to win, at this level, you have to win 1, 2, 3, 4 times in a row just to get back down to $10 level. Now, the difference of this one versus a martingale is you actually win money along the way on your way down. So you'd actually be winning a lot more money than just that $10 with a martingale system. But notice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, and you're still not at the $500 max bet. So I'll spare you going further with this, because let's talk about if betting this system in the field is a good bet. Okay, so let me move all this away. And what we'll do is we'll actually talk about the numbers that aren't in the field. So does anybody know what numbers aren't in the field? You got your 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, 12. So obviously there's no 7 in the field, but there's also no 5, 6, or 8. So I would always suggest, if you are ever going to bet in the field, you should always have a 5, you should always have a 6, and you should always have an 8. Now, notice I did a $10 5, and I did a $30 6 and 8. Now, you don't necessarily have to do this much. However, if you're ever betting $10 in the field, you want to at least have this to a double, or 15 or $20. So $20 would win 28. You would lose 10 if you hit right here. So then you would either win $10 or you would win $18. If you had $15 here and you had $10 here, you would win 21 here, but you would lose 10. So you'd either win $10 or $11 if it is like this. And this would be the same if this was at the 18 level. So 15, 18, 18, and 10. On every roll except for the 7, you would win $10 or you would win $11. Now, this is probably a better scenario. So taking this up to the $25 level, which is 25, 30, and 30, and then 10 in the field, this is probably the best case scenario, because you would either win $10 if it's a field number. Now, if it's a 2 or 12, you're going to win double, okay? Just like, so don't worry about that. We're just going to focus on these ones here. Or each one of these pays $35. So you would lose 10, but you'd win 35, and you put this back so you could put this quarter in your rack. Now, many would say this, I know what this is the Iron Cross. You're covering every number except for the 7. Now, this is good only to do this. Now watch. If we roll a 5, 6, or 8, and we get this here, go like this and put this up. Now, if we roll a 9, we actually win 35 plus 10. So let's say a 9 rolled, and we won the $35 here, and we won the $10 here. Then you could get a 4 and a 10, put this in your rack. You really don't need to bet this anymore. But if you are at this level and you wanted to bet this, like same scenario where this actually $10 would pay 18, so you'd win $8 difference on the 4 and 10. And your 9 would be your biggest number to hit because you would get paid right there, 35 plus, just like what we just showed you. But many people would do this. They would still play in the field if they have all the numbers. But let me tell you, if you have all the numbers, there's no reason to play in the field. If you wanted to put $10 and you say, oh, I wanted a double win, because if you hit a 4, a 9, or a 10, it's a double win. But the big wins would be on the horn numbers. And because you already have the 4, 9, and 10 covered here, it would probably be better to bet a horn high or a horn bet, like a horn high yo or a horn bet. Now, a horn bet is the 2, 3, 11, 12. Now, all 4 of those numbers are what's called the horn numbers. A 2, 3, 12 is what's called the craps numbers. But if you had $10, I always like to do a horn high yo. That's my favorite one. So horn high yo, because it's $10, because you could put $1, $1, $1, $1. So $4 is the minimum bet that you can bet on a horn bet, $4, because it covers all 4 of those numbers, the 2, 3, 11, 12. But if you have $10, now remember, 4 or 8, $4 would be 1 each, $1 each, $8 would be $2 each. Now, if you have 10, a lot of times people put a $10 horn bet. It's actually not a good bet at a $10 horn bet. You might as well just do a $10 horn high yo. And the way that works is it takes the $10. So I'm going to just show you the $10. And like I said, $8 would be $2 here, $2 here, $2 here, and $4, the high on the yo. So a horn, but high on the yo. The extra $2 goes on the yo. So that would be a horn high yo. Now you could do a horn high midnight. You could do a horn high aces or horn high ace deuce. But I like the horn high yo. Now what that means is the yo and the 2 and 12 are going to pay pretty similar, being that this is 15 for one, this is 30 for one, but you doubled up the bet here. So I think you get paid $26 or $27 off of this $10 bet. So if you had all these numbers here, it wouldn't make sense to play the field. You might as well play horn high yo for $10. Actually, you could do a horn high yo for $5 and still make money on every roll. And then I think what is it, 26, 27. Oh, actually, sorry, I was wrong when I was talking about the $10 horn high yo. It would pay 52 or 57, something like that, $52, $57. But at the $5 level, it would pay 26 or 27, and the 3 would pay $11 on a $5 horn high yo. So when you think about that, this is probably a better way to play if you have all the numbers. So speaking of this Fibonacci, when we're talking about Fibonacci before, now going back to that Fibonacci sequence, obviously you wouldn't want to play Fibonacci or Martingale. This is why people lose. Okay, I'm going to tell you why people lose. The reason why people lose when they bet in the field, whether they Martingale or do the Fibonacci, the reason why is because Fibonacci and Martingale do not work on even money bets. So it's a lot of times, even on roulette, you see people playing on the outside, like the even money, like red or black, and they'll do like red over and over and over, and they'll just do Martingale or Fibonacci on a red. The reason why they lose money is because it's just even money bets. So even money bets do not work with Fibonacci or with the martingale system. So I would suggest, if you're going to use a Fibonacci or some type of, well, I wouldn't recommend ever doing martingale, by the way, but if you did, never do it in the field. Do it on something like one of these numbers, because then it really pays off. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's do the 5, for example. And let's say we had a $10 5. And let's take all these down, and let's say we were only playing the 5. And we're going to do the Fibonacci sequence only on the 5. Now, if you ever did the Fibonacci sequence and you were playing a number out there and you're playing the Fibonacci sequence, then you do not want to ever have your bets off. You want your bets working at all times, because you're playing the 5 against the 7. And so when the come out roll happens, just say, hey, I want my 5 working. You want to be working all the time. And so let's say you win $14. You would stay there. Let's say a 7 comes and you lose. If you lose, you go back up for the $10. So again, I'm going to just lay it right here just to show you. So the first set would be $10. Say we lost that. Well, the next bet, you would actually add those two together and you'd put $20 there. And let's say that lost, okay? Now, if that lost and you still didn't roll a 5, okay, you would add 20 plus 10, which is $30. So you put $30 there. Then if that lost and you still never hit a 5 and all the 7s were coming more than 5s, then you would add those two together and you would get, what is it, $50? So you'd be $50 on the 5, pays 70. Okay, so let's say it hit right here, it pays $70. Let's count this up right here, okay? Here's 50, 60, 70. So at this level, you would actually win all the money back, right? If it hit, and you would be right there. So again, let me show you one more time what that would be. That would be losing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. If you lose 4 times and on the 5th time you hit it, you win all your money back. Now, let's say you lost it here at this point. Now you're at $75, $80, okay? So you're at $80, okay? Now, what this would pay is 105. So like 75 pays 105 and 5 pays 7. So 105 plus 7, so 112, right? So 112. Now let's add this up. If you won at this level, this is everything that you would have lost, right? Getting to this level. So look, 75, $120, but you're winning 112. But that gives you a chance to be back down at this level. But that's why you would always go from, so let's say we're at this level and we hit it, right? So we won this amount. So this is our winnings, right? Then we're able to go down to 25. Now, if we hit it at 25, it pays 35, right? So then we pay 35, which here's 20, and here, so I mean, with this one we'll put back here, but you can see this would, now let's see, if we had lost all of these, right? And we got to where we won here, and then we went down to this level. So remember, we're 120, but we had 114, right? Now we have 124, 140, 148. What is that? I mean, we're very close to actually winning money with this system on these different levels. Instead of, like I said, with a martingale, we would be chasing just to win a $10 win. So that's why this one's a little bit better, because you go down 2 levels. Once you win at this level, you go back down to $10. So I hope that makes sense. I know that might be confusing, but I just wanted to say, never play the field if you don't have a 5, 6, and 8. Never martingale or Fibonacci in the field, because it's an even money bet. You do have the 2 and 12, but that's only one combination of the dice on each of those. So one combination, one combination. Don't even count on the field ever paying on a 2 and 12, because it rarely happens, okay? So again, if you're gonna do Fibonacci, okay, never do martingale, but if you're gonna do some type of progression or chasing system, do the Fibonacci system, but don't do it on an even money bet. Always do it on one of the numbers out here instead of one of the numbers in here. I hope that helps. I hope to see you not losing when I see you cruising and rolling on a craps table soon. I'll see you later. Bye.